A racist hotel refuses rapper Snoop Dogg. The next day, he returns as owner. Snoop Dogg, the legendary rapper and entrepreneur, had just finished headlining a massive charity concert in an upscale city. The show was a success, raising millions for underprivileged communities. Exhausted but satisfied, Snoop decided he deserved a night of comfort and booked a suite at the Grand Majestic, a five-star hotel infamous for catering to the rich and elite. Snoop arrived late that evening, stepping out of his car with his signature swagger. Dressed in a custom-tailored tracksuit glistening under the moonlight, he was the epitome of cool. As he walked into the marble-floored lobby, he couldn't help but notice the wary glances from the staff and a few lingering guests. The receptionist, a stiff man named Charles, stood at the front desk. His eyes scanned Snoop with thinly veiled contempt. "Good evening, sir. Can I help you?" "Yeah," Snoop said, sliding a reservation confirmation across the desk. "Got myself a suite booked for the night. Mind hooking me up with the key?" Charles barely glanced at the paper before shaking his head. "I'm sorry, Mr. Dogg, but we're fully booked for the evening." Snoop raised an eyebrow. "Fully booked? Funny, 'cause this place is looking emptier than my fridge during tour season." Charles gave a tight-lipped smile. "Our policy allows us to decline service at our discretion. I'm afraid we can't accommodate you tonight." Snoop leaned on the counter, his gaze steady and unamused. "Let me guess. You don't think I belong here, huh?" Charles didn't respond, but his silence said enough. With a shrug, Snoop grabbed his confirmation slip and turned to leave. "Aight, cool. I'll take my business elsewhere. Y'all have a good night." Back at a smaller, more welcoming hotel across town, Snoop sat in his suite, reflecting on the encounter. It wasn't the first time he'd faced discrimination, but this one stung differently. He had money, success, and a spotless reputation in the industry. What more could they want? Snoop picked up his phone and made a call to his manager. Find out who owns the Grand Majestic. I think it's time for a little investment." It didn't take long to uncover the truth. The hotel was bleeding money. Despite its upscale appearance, the place had been struggling to stay afloat for years, and the owners were quietly looking for a buyer. Snoop saw an opportunity, not just for revenge, but to make a point. The next morning, Snoop assembled his team of lawyers, accountants, and business advisors. By noon, he'd struck a deal to purchase the hotel outright. It was expensive, sure, but Snoop wasn't just buying a building. He was buying a legacy. That evening, Snoop returned to the Grand Majestic. This time, he wasn't alone. His entourage included his lawyers, a PR team, and even a documentary crew to capture the moment. Charles, the same receptionist from the night before, was still on duty. His face turned ghostly pale when he saw Snoop walking in. "You again?" he stammered. Snoop grinned, pulling out a stack of official-looking papers. "Nah, not me again. It's me now. I'm the new owner of this fine establishment. So, technically, I should be the one asking, you again?" Charles froze, his mouth opening and closing like a fish, gasping for air. "Relax, man," Snoop said, patting him on the shoulder. "We're not going to fire you, yet." Over the next few weeks, Snoop completely revamped the hotel. The first thing to go? The outdated and discriminatory policies. Snoop replaced them with a commitment to inclusivity and community. The hotel was rebranded as the Dog Palace, complete with a new logo and a laid-back, welcoming vibe. He added a state-of-the-art recording studio to one of the penthouse suites, inviting artists from around the world to create music while enjoying luxury accommodations. The restaurant was reimagined as Thaw G Funk Grill, serving gourmet comfort food with a West Coast twist. But Snoop didn't stop there. He implemented diversity and inclusion training for all employees, including Charles. "Everybody deserves a second chance," Snoop said, "but you better learn or you're out of here, you dig?" Charles, to his credit, took the training seriously. He even apologized to Snoop, admitting that his actions had been rooted in ignorance. When the Dog Palace officially reopened, it became the hottest spot in town. Celebrities, musicians, and regular travelers flocked to the hotel, drawn by its reputation for top-tier service and inclusive atmosphere. Snoop himself often hosted charity events in the ballroom, turning the hotel into a hub for good vibes and community building. One night, during a press event, a reporter asked Snoop why he'd gone through all the trouble. "Man," Snoop said, leaning back with his trademark grin, "I could have just left it alone, but life's too short to let people get away with treating you like you're less than. So I bought the joint, flipped it, and made it something better. For everybody. Now that's how you turn a bad vibe into a boss move." The crowd erupted in applause, and Snoop raised a glass to his guests. "Cheers to growth, y'all, and to never letting anybody tell you where you don't belong." And with that, Snoop proved once again that he wasn't just a rapper, he was a legend.